Positive energy all the time. Good to see you all. Richmond, Virginia's in the building. Chicago, Illinois is in the building. Yeah. The beautiful Mrs. Moore is here. Shelly's in the building representing Richmond. Beer's in the building. Salute, Ross. Much respect, Elijah. Got Brixton in the building. Salute to everybody at Brixton. We got Brooklyn in the house. Salute to my brother from Brooklyn. We got New York in the building. I already know. Alley Cat, good to see you. I had to come back over. Alley Cat says she representing Bogota, Colombia. We got St. Paul in the building, Minnesota. Good to see you. Good to see you in Minnesota. Yeah. It's going down. I hope everybody's doing great. Come on in. Support the channel. Like, hit the share button, subscribe, like the notification bell, all that good stuff. Here we go. I had to come back and rectify certain things when I was talking about this trial. My total perspective on this trial was off. I made mistakes talking about this situation. So I want to go back now and clarify the mistakes that I made concerning this. I was not really thinking about this trial in the correct manner. Okay? And it took me to today before this morning I said, oh, God, oh, wow. I wasn't looking at the trial correctly. Yeah, I wasn't looking at the trial correctly. And I'm sure a lot of people in America aren't looking at the trial correctly. I'm sure that. And we're going to talk about why. I have a whole new way of looking at this situation now, which is my fault. I didn't take everything into consideration. And now I'm taking everything into consideration. Good to see you, Carol. Yeah, we got St. Paul, Minnesota in the building. So, yeah, I made some mistakes. I made some serious mistakes in talking about this. I got to come back and rectify that. I left out, like, really the most important thing I left out when I've been talking about this. So what do you all think? Y'all think he's going to be found guilty or innocent? If you think he's going to be found guilty, tell me why. If you think he's going to be found innocent, tell me why. And I'm going to tell you why I believe he's absolutely going to be found guilty now. Yeah. He's going to be found guilty. Recently, the prosecution dropped the kidnapping, the arson, and certain trafficking charges, which is definitely not a good sign for him. Yeah, they dropping some charges, which is bad news for him. Bad news. We get 100 people over here. We'll get started. It's 86 people in here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. It's 90 people over here. Let's make those likes match the amount of people over here. We got 90 people. Let's have 90 likes. I don't know. Well, I know how I miscalculated this trial. I know how I did it. I'm gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Mrs. Moore said guilty because they proved he used his business to commit crimes. You're 100 billion% correct. That is the nail in his coffin. That's it. Now, I know a lot of people don't understand that aspect. And even I did not have that. I was not thinking about that correctly. Now, let me get to it. And I'll say it a few times for people to come later. I did not talk about this trial correctly. I misspoke on this trial. I misdiagnosed this trial. I don't know how, but I did. Well, I do know how. I misdiagnosed this trial because I've had a bunch of cases myself. I've had cases, and I've been to court a lot. But I made one big mistake thinking about the Diddy trial. That a lot of Americans have no clue about the Diddy trial. And the mistake I made is I just was thinking about trials, which means I was thinking about state cases. That's why I blew it. I was thinking about I don't know why. I was just thinking about trials. I wasn't thinking about the feds. If I would have been thinking about a Fed case, I would have been told you he going to prison. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just thinking cases, you know. I was just thinking criminal cases. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking criminal cases. I'm thinking, okay, I'm thinking the cases, I'm thinking the evidence, I'm thinking everything but the feds. I wasn't thinking about the feds. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, stay your ass out of trouble. Listen, I had to come back because I like to clarify myself and make mistakes. But that's the second reason I'm here, to let y'all know I wasn't thinking about the feds. The main reason I'm here is for young brothers, especially young men, period, to tell you about the feds. You don't ever in your life want to catch a Fed case. Because if you catch a Fed case, you are going to prison. Period. Look, I'm going to repeat myself. If the feds come to get you, you're done. You're done. The feds don't charge. The feds don't come and get you like the state. This is how state cases work. The police arrest you, right? The judge finds probable cause to go on with the trial, and they go on with the trial. And then they go to prove that you did what they said you did, right? So they go on to prove that you're already arrested. You go in front of a judge for a bond or whatever, and then the prosecution starts to go to prove it. But most times in the Fed case, they did all that first. See, a lot of times in these state cases, you actually get caught doing something and arrested right there, right? Right? You see what I'm saying? So, like in a state case, they pull me over. I got a gun in the car. It's not registered. Chicago don't let you have a gun. They arrest me, and everything happens right there. A Fed case, they go and do investigation first, and you don't necessarily know that they know you committing a crime. In the state case, they catch you at the same time, pretty much. In most cases, in a state case, they catch you. They find out you're doing a crime at the same time. You find out. They find out. So you find out. You find out they know you're doing a crime around the same time they find out. In most cases, some cases when it's a raid or whatever. But still, if it's a raid from a state case, still they've probably been investigating you, right? And then they raid you, and then they get the evidence, and then they build the case. So they build probable cause to get a warrant, but they still don't have a case. They just have probable. That means probably. So they have the probable cause, right, to get the warrant. Then they raid you. Then they get the evidence. Then they build a case. The feds don't do that. By the time the feds raid you, they're just getting more evidence. They got lots of evidence before they even come. The state not going to sit on you no long time. The state will grab you relatively quick. If they find you got a crime, they'll do a little investigation and they come. The feds will watch you as long as they want. The feds will watch you 10 years. The feds will watch you 5 years. There has been like civil rights leaders where the feds watched them their entire life. They could put you under permanent investigation. That's what I made the mistake at. And with the trial, I would have been told y'all he going bye-bye, he finished, he's done, kaput, finished, done. I wasn't thinking in cases of feds. He's gone, he's done, he's gone, it's over. He's gone. It's over with. Transportation to engage in prostitution. Done. Done. Goodbye. You're done. It's done. You're done. He's gone. Prostitution for sure is gone. That's 100% prostitution. If he did it across state lines, that's trafficking, period. So let me give it to you from a man's point of view. I go to a club. I dance with a girl. She kind of flirting a little bit. We get to talking. She's friendly. I'm trying to see if we can hook up afterwards. We can hang out afterwards. Boom. She said, yeah. She'll follow me over to my place or to a hotel. She follow me to the hotel. She come up to the room. She go take a shower. She come out with some sexy clothes on. I start touching on her and she say, could you give me $100? Right then, that's prostitution. That's prostitution. Right there, that's prostitution. Because you don't pay your wife. You don't pay your girlfriend. You don't pay your girlfriend. You buy things on your own, but you don't pay your girlfriend every time you go in the bedroom and you have sex with your girlfriend or your wife. You don't pay them. That's prostitution. You have picked up a prostitute, and she just strung you on her way to try to get the money at the last minute, try to get you hot where you'll give her money. But it's prostitution. So if I'm having a party and I pay a male dancer or something and he dance, cool. But if I pay him and he have sex with somebody, that's prostitution. That's prostitution. Anytime you have sex for pay, that is prostitution. Point blank, period. That's prostitution. All them dudes he hired, look, I wasn't thinking. It's a Fed case, right? When the guys got up there and said, "Well, what did you do with Cassie?" He said, "I did this, I did that. Did he watch? Did he watch me do this? Did he watch me do that? Did he watch me do this?" Right? Everybody said, "That ain't no case." But it's a Fed case, and we missed one thing. They asked him, "How much did you charge?" So with. Soon as the dancer say, "I charged 500," or he gave me 1,000, that's it, bro. That's it. That's it. He paid. Hey, what's your name? S&D. He paid them. He paid them dues. He paid them. And I'll tell you something else, SMD. Let's say, SMD. Let's say you work for a radio station, WSMD, and that same thing happened, and you went in your personal money, and you paid them. But let's say you paid them with a debit card, credit card from WSMD radio. You know you're going to prison, right? You know if you pay them with a bad boy credit card, if you pay for this with a business credit card, first off, when you got a business, you put down what that business does. You don't have nowhere in your business portfolio where you pay for sex. That's not a part of your business. You know what I'm saying? SMT, if you write a personal thing, that's one thing. But if you work for WFMD radio and you pay a male escort or anybody with the business account, first you go in trouble with the state if they find out, because they say, "Well, we reading your statement about your business. It don't say nothing about that. It say you sell shoes, clothing." This is a clothing company, right? Because for what you're doing, Mr. El-Aton, you were supposed to file this type of business. You filed this type of business because and when you get your trademark too, when you get your trademark, okay. For those that don't know business, that you might want, when you get your trademark, you trademark your business under a specific type of business. You're that way. Somebody might be able to trade that same business or something similar if they're doing something different than what you're doing. The type of business you do has to match the operation. This fool Diddy went and paid for all that stuff on the business account. He going to prison. It's over. He's going to prison. Now, a lot of people saying, "Well, Pharaoh, the jury, this and that." Let me tell y'all something. That's what I'm saying. Young brothers, stay out of trouble. Because when they go to deliberate, they're going to give the jury instructions. So the jury might be thinking this way and that way, but when they get them jury instructions, and they go by the instructions, he going to prison. They're going to instruct them. This is prostitution. This is what the word prostitution means. This is what discharge is. This is what discharge is. This is what discharge is. You look and see if you find him guilty for these charges. And when they show that jury what prostitution is, they're going to say, oh, yeah, he's guilty. The jury going to look and say, this man took a business account and paid for sex, and he don't run no sex business. Because to run a sex business, listen, y'all. See, I messed up, I forgot his fed. Listen, if you go right now to the state and you want to open up a strip club, you are not going to be allowed to open that strip club with the same paperwork I'm going to be able to do if I'm opening a food store. A food store is going to have different paperwork than if you're selling like office supplies. Each typical business has different paperwork. Cost different. You're not going to have no strip club for the same price as a laundromat. I'm going to just let you know. You're not going to have no liquor store for the same price as no laundromat. The liquor store going to cost you. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. He guilty. He guilty, bro. You took a business card for a business over here and you paid for sex. That's illegal. That's prostitution. You pay for people that have sex, bro. That's illegal. I don't know if y'all know that. You know that's illegal. If I pay a woman to do sexual acts for you, that's prostitution. I'm a pimp. That's pimping. That's illegal. They're not going to consider that a romance or relationship. They're going to consider that a sexual business, which is illegal. Sex business is illegal. There's no such thing as sex business. Okay, here in Chicago, we got the Admiral Club, right? In places like Chicago, if there's full nudity, there can't be liquor. If it's partial nudity, they can sell liquor. But they will not let you sell liquor and have full nudity. Can't do both of those. Those are two different businesses too. A lot of people don't know that. If you got a strip club, full nudity, that's different than they just show a little stuff. That's gonna cost you. That's gonna cost you. Y'all know how America is. They gonna charge you. How much time Diddy looking at with the feds? That's why I had to come over here. With the feds? Why is that? What you mean? If you're using a company gas card in your personal car and you're not taking your personal car to work, and let's say you work for me, first off, we got your mileage. You got to register that with the company. So if you work for me, Quaylen, and you got the car, and I'm paying for gas for you to come to work, I'm getting your mileage and everything. And now those receipts come to me. I know you live on the other side of town. One day receipts comes to me from New York, from Carolina, and you buying that gas to go visit your relatives in Carolina, New York. I'm looking at your gas card, and it's all these hundreds of dollars, but you live right here in the city. Yeah, you're going to jail. I'm calling the police on you. Or I'm docking that out your money and I'm firing you. You're fired. This is not a card to go visit your granny. Did we distinctly let you know that this card was to pay for your transportation to and from work? That's it. We specifically gave you that card for that. For example, I got a friend, she works for an insurance company. They give her the computer and everything. She can't go on Facebook on that computer. Like I got a friend works for like a medical company, medical insurance. That computer got all type of security stuff on it. That computer not gonna even let you try log into nothing but that business. That's it. If you work for State Farm Insurance and they give you a computer, that computer gonna only log in to State Farm. That's it. That computer not try to open another window. Try to open up a personal window on that computer. See what happened to you. First, it ain't gonna open. Then it's gonna send a security threat because you got all these clients' information on here, and now you opening them up for hack. Boy, you could go to prison for that. You could go to jail for that. They'd be like, you tried to compromise our patients. You got all these people personal files coming to this computer, and you tried to hook this computer up to TikTok. I'd be like, fool. Yeah, they dropped it. That's why I said, Howard, I was off. Because if I would have known the feds, I would have known. In the state, this is good. You know what this means in the feds, Howard? That means they got him. They're like, okay, we don't need these no more. We got a 30 piece for what? They got him. They're like, okay, yeah. They dropped the arson because the fingerprints came missing up. They dropped that. They kept what they got him for. They said, okay, we don't need this. Got him right here. We got him right here. We got him. If we keep these charges could taint the trial. They don't want the jury to go with them charges. See? In other words, they want his ass. So they're not going to send no charges that he could beat, because if the jury say he innocent of this and innocent of that, they might say he innocent, period. So they only sending charges that he 100% guilty for. He is in big ass trouble. That's why I had to come tell y'all, listen, if you don't know nothing else about this live for y'all, leave the feds alone. You don't want no Fed case. That's why I said I wasn't thinking. I was just talking about a case, because I kept talking about my case and stuff. I ain't had no Fed case. So I was way off with that. Everything I said based on cases was all wrong. This ain't no state case. I can't really give you no details about going to court for no state case. This is a Fed case. Don't listen. If you think I'm lying and you got some cousins or you got some brothers that be doing dirt, or uncle or somebody, next time you're around them, just say the word Fed case and watch how they look at you. That's all. Just go around some criminals and ask them, what's up with a Fed case? That's it. Just ask him, what's up with a Fed case? He got a Fed case. The feds don't even come until they got you. They wouldn't have dropped the arson if the police wouldn't have lost the fingerprints. The police lost all that, the fingerprint kit, which when this is over, whoever fumbled that is in trouble too. Whoever fumbled that with the fingerprints for the arson, for Kid Cudi car, they better hope that nobody paid them to do that. Because if they find out that Diddy and them paid to some kind of way they was coerced to, they going to prison too. Let me tell you something. He ain't the only one going to prison when this is over. If anybody else, I'm telling you. This is the feds that don't play none. Nobody wants a Fed case. Typically in the streets, a Fed case means you lost already. I'm thinking state, so that's why I'm thinking he could probably beat it. I was thinking state. I don't what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking state. I wasn't thinking at all. I wasn't thinking federal. I would have told you straight from the beginning he going to prison. I wouldn't even consider nobody that be in the streets or know nothing about the streets and know nothing about state cases, Fed cases. Nobody that know about Fed cases would give him a chance to win. You're not beating no Fed case. They get their people 99.9% of the time you going to prison. 99.9% of the time with the feds, you going to prison with the feds. Period. Because before they arrest you and you beat the case, they'll wait. In other words, if they investigate me right now and they got enough stuff to get me, but I can beat it, they won't come get me yet. They won't come get me yet. They won't. They'll let me stack up my crimes. They'll let me and then when I stack up my crimes and they see enough, got him. Okay, boys, let's go get him. Let's go get him. Let's got him. Like they don't come get you till they got you. They don't come get you and then try to prove they got you. The feds don't do that. Diddy's going to prison. It's over with. Yeah, they got a 98% conviction rate. And I'll tell you this, another reason, he was getting high. He was getting high. You cannot be breaking the law, federal laws, and getting high, getting drunk, being sloppy. You're going to prison, bro. Diddy was sloppy. He was sloppy. But I wasn't thinking Fed case. Casey not in cuffs. That means she working for the feds. She there to send Diddy to prison. All them people taking a stand, the little white boy, the white dude, he working for the feds. Everybody that was supposed to get arrested too then flipped already. He finished. Yeah, he went to jail. Yes, he did. This is a Fed case. Everybody told before they went to jail. What's going on, Harlem World? Yeah, I'm good. It's a Fed case, so I don't know. I blew that, y'all. All my other lies on this was off because I'm just thinking a case. I'm looking at it as a case, like, this and that is a case. He could do this and that. I'm looking at it as a case. Okay, let me see. I'm looking at it as a case. I was forgetting Fed case. So what does these drop charges towards his verdict? What those drop charges do to his verdict? Nothing. Because they're going to charge you for this get 20 years, this get 20 years, this get 20 years, this get 20 years. They ain't going to do nothing but consolidate them anyway. So if they drop them, you're still doing 20. You're still doing 30. He gone. Diddy basically wanted to go to prison. Bro, you cannot be paying sex workers. Period. They'll take special license and special things to be in the sex business. You can't just be in the sex business. You can't just do that for a hobby. You cannot pay people to have sex for a hobby. That's prostitution. No matter what you calling it. Diddy was pimping. That's a pimp. I don't know what he was thinking. If you bringing women, getting rooms, and setting up sex, that's pimping. Everybody that's just married doing normal stuff, they're going to all say that's weirdo, that's pimping. It's not just weird, it's pimping, that's prostitution. If I have a party and people want to come get freaky, if any money is exchanged, that's prostitution. Any money. If any money is exchanged, that's illegal. Now, if you just come and we just freaking for free, cool. But if anybody's getting paid to have sex, that's illegal. You cannot pay to have sex. You cannot sell sex. It's prostitution. Diddy thought he could say different things like, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. At the end of the day, bro, if you're paying anybody to have sex, you pimping. What's the difference between pimping and pandering? If you pandering, you ain't got no prostitutes. Anytime sex is involved, it's a sex crime. I don't know nothing about pandering having nothing to do with sex. I never heard that. Let me look up pandering because I've never heard pandering. Pandering is, in a legal context, a crime involving the procurement of a person for prostitution. Okay, pandering is the trick. Pandering is the trick. If I got the chick and I'm pimping the chick, if you come pay the chick, that's pandering. But me and the chick, that's prostitution. Pandering is the customer. Diddy wasn't the customer. Diddy and Casey and them was the prostitutes and the pimps. Yeah, that's why Backpage got shut down. Because they was pimping. That's why a lot of people on OnlyFans going to prison. Listen, man, a lot of them women on OnlyFans, they going to prison. Yeah, that too, but Orlando, pandering is like if I pull up to a car and a prostitution get in and they arrest me, they're gonna charge me with pandering for picking up a prostitute. And if they could prove she a prostitute, they're gonna charge her with prostitution. They ain't gonna charge me for prostitution because I'm not the one selling it. The one selling it is the prostitute and the pimp. The one buying it is not a prostitute or a pimp or a sex worker. They are pandering. The buyer. They don't really care that much about the buyer because this Babylon, they just don't want nobody to make no money. So if you come to my house to buy some weed, I'm selling illegal weed, they might arrest you for possession of the weed. They're going to kick my dough in and I'm going to get sales and distribution. You're not getting a charge for that bag of weed that I'm finna get for selling it to you. I'm going bye-bye. Unless I got a slide of money for a lawyer. They ride right by him because they got to catch him in the act. So they can't arrest her just walking up and down the street. They can't arrest her. They can't arrest her. She ain't doing nothing. A prostitute can walk up and down the street all day. They got to catch her in the act of prostitution. So when they have sweeps, they have plainclothes go pick them up and bust them. They'll pull up, have her get in the car. The plainclothes, there's certain words he can say, so he won't be soliciting her. So he'll say stuff like, "Hey, what you doing out here?" So a lot of prostitutes know that, so they won't say nothing. The prostitutes won't let them know. Now I'm saying you got to say how much. They know not to tell you they charging. You know what I'm saying? They know because they done been to jail so many times. So the prostitute will get in the car and really won't say nothing if you got to say what it is, because the police can't say that. So the police can't solicit her, and they know that. But if she get in the car and say, "Hey, what you doing? Pay me $25," then she going to jail. So she ain't going to say that. You got to say how much. But the police can't say how much. The police can't say how much. That's why it's so hard to catch them. They have to catch sloppy ones that get in the car and say the wrong thing. The police have certain words they could use to try to trick you to make the offer to them, and then boom, they cuff you. Because they can't solicit a hoe. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They can't. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Diddy, he was getting high. So when you see him beat up Cassie like that in a hallway of a hotel, and he a big businessman like that, and he know they got camera footage and stuff, and then you see him go call them and say he want to pay them for the footage and all, he was getting high. He had lost it. Because he should know he finna do 30, 40 years just that right there. Just having a freak out in their hotel and beating her up on camera. Anybody else know that you finna do 20, you finna do 30. So he wasn't even in his right mind. Diddy got high on his own supply. He broke the number one rule. You know what I'm saying? He broke the number one rule. We don't get high. Yeah, we don't get out. We don't get out. I don't get drunk. If you invite me to a party right now, you got a lot of drinks. First off, I got an open mind. You're not finna put me no bottle or nothing. You know what I'm saying? You're not finna take no open bottle and put me no drink. No, we're not doing that. You gotta bring me a bottle where the seal ain't been, you know what I'm saying? Boy, you're not finna drug me up in here. You crazy. Just in certain dark worlds, just bringing a bottle and trying to put me, unless you one of the guys, yeah. I'm at your crib, you and your wife, yeah. But just like on some hanging out stuff, and you come with a bottle to offer me a drink, and I'm on some gangster stuff like that, I don't know how that'll go for you. That won't go real good for you. Because I'm going to be like, no, okay, I'm cool now. But I'm going to tell you now I'm straight. I'm not drinking tonight. But I'm thinking, I'm going to have to, hey, Ray, man, I'm on so-and-so. Y'all be up here about 2:30. We got to holler at you. You know what I'm saying? It might have been innocent, but hey, man. Don't, maybe you shouldn't be on the gangster world. You know what I'm saying? You can't make in the world of gangsters like that and ultimate hustlers. Like, you can't make certain mistakes because that's a world of extreme paranoia. We be extremely paranoid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen a crime he committed yet? That's because you don't know nothing about crime. You're a civilian. Ma, you're a civilian. That's why you ain't seen no crime. Did he pay those men that had sex with Casey? Let me ask you something, Ma. Did he pay those men that had sex with Casey? Yes or no? Did he, Ma, did he pay the men? That's what I'm trying to tell him, Ma. That state, you ain't had no fair crime, because if you had a fair crime, you wouldn't be on here. You'd still be locked up. But listen, Ma, did he pay the male strippers to sleep with Casey? Did he pay them to have sex with Casey? Just yes or no. Let's keep it simple, bro. Did you see, hey, man, you said you had crimes, so you know the police. Did you see when the prosecutor asked the male dancers, how much did he pay you? And did you see when the male dancer said he paid me 1,000? Why did the prosecution, man, ask him how much he pay you? Man, simple question. Why did the prosecution ask the male dancer, stripper, whatever, how much did Diddy pay you? Did you have intercourse with her? Did you watch the trial? It's a simple question, bro. If he paid the men to have sex with Casey, is that prostitution? Yes or no? It's real simple, man. If he paid them men and they had sex with her, is that prostitution, bro? Yes or no? It's real simple. We can make this easy. Let's make it easy. You say no, then I don't got nothing else to say. But if you really been to the joint, you know goddamn well that's prostitution. If it's your girl, if I pay a man to have sex with my girlfriend, y'all, is that prostitution? So in other words, man, you ain't gonna ask the question. All right, well, I can't talk to you no more. Because I asked you a specific question. It just was a yes or no, bro. I'm not doing all that, man. You playing. I asked you a yes or a no. When he paid the sex worker to have sex with her, was that prostitution? Yes or no? That's all I wanted was a yes or no. You understand? So now you squirming around and stuff. You say you was in the penitentiary. And now if you owe me some money or you owe me something, you were squirming around by that, you never would have got out of there. Because you would have had to run me my bread. So when I asked you for my bread, you've been in the penitentiary, right? And then you start squirming around and you didn't tell me when you was going to pay me. Guess how that would have went? Because you squirming around right now. Let me talk to somebody else. Because that was a yes or no question. That's how you know dudes is be phony. Like, I got it. I had him. All you had to do was commit. I don't see yes or no nowhere. Let me see yes or no. Let me see. Let me see. Y'all seen him say yes or no? Because I asked for a specific answer. Let me see. I don't see no. I don't see no. I don't see no. I could have swore the answer to the test was yes or no. That's what I thought. How you answer my question when I asked a yes or no question and I don't see no yes or no? Bro, you playing. Let me talk to somebody else. I don't got time. Yeah, I don't got time. I don't got time, bro. You fake. Bro. I don't got time. Let me talk to somebody else that's really, on something, that really want to have a serious conversation. I don't want to talk to no phony baloney, you know what I'm saying? That's probably why you went to prison, because you probably slow. Feel me? And that's why I ain't never been to prison. All that playing. I don't be doing all that playing. You know what I'm saying? It's real simple. If you hire a man to come, even if it's your wife or whatever, and you pay him for sex, you pay him for any sexual acts, that's illegal. That's 100% illegal. I ain't gonna block him or nothing. I let him stay, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't be arguing. I don't do a round and round. That's why I try to ask specific questions so we could get to the meat of the conversation. I don't do this or but then that, but this. I don't do that. That's childish. I'm a grown ass man. Let's just get right to the point and get it over with and move on. I want to get right to the point. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say yes or no. I got other people in here that I'm talking to. I want a yes or no. Then that's the end of it. You know what I'm saying? If he can't give me a yes or no, what they tell you? They tell you he know I'm right. He know damn well that if you pay somebody to have sex, that's prostitution. If he been to the Fed joint, he know that. He know you cannot pay for sex. You cannot sell sex. You cannot sell sex. You cannot sell liquor unless you got a liquor license. He know that. You cannot sell sex. You cannot sell liquor. You cannot sell guns. You cannot sell bullets. You have to have a specific license, and you have to be sanctioned by the state or the federal government to sell certain things. It is not legal to pay for sexual acts, period. You don't pay your wife for sex. You don't pay your girlfriend for sex. Sex is some people do because they want to do it. The only sex business is prostitution. You know what I'm saying? Duh. You a sex worker. When them dudes came and had sex, talking about they a dancer. No, bro, you a sex worker. Them dudes were sex workers. They just, listen, man. Them talking about male dancers, those are male prostitutes. But they didn't want to perjure, they didn't want to put themselves out there to be arrested later. All of them dudes is male prostitutes. Those dudes is making illegal money. Them dudes made money that they didn't pay no taxes for. All of them can be under investigation by the IRS right now. That dude that's on there doing all them rounds, doing all that talking and writing a book, the IRS could kick it. If they're gonna go look at his money now. That's why dudes be talking too much. They're gonna go look at his money. That's also tax evasion. You know, that's also tax evasion if you're making money that you ain't filed. You know what I'm saying? That's tax evasion. You go to prison for that. What Al Capone get arrested for? A lot of mafia got arrested for tax evasion. The one guy, that one mob boss, they took a picture of his pinky ring and went and got the picture, got it appraised based on the picture and arrested him. You got to have a license. They definitely got him for prostitution. That's why they threw out the other cases like Diddy going bye-bye. That's why they threw this out. And then he left a paper trail. Dude was buying illegal drugs with the company. Like he was using a company card to buy illegal drugs. See, Diddy went crazy. Diddy went crazy. So when you're in the streets like that, or when you're doing like illegal stuff, if you don't be careful, you get kind of crazy. You get complacent, and you get kind of crazy. and you get to the point where you're just doing what you're doing. You're not thinking about no paper trail. You're not thinking about the police. You just like even if you hustling in the streets, it could get to a point where you hustling, making money. And so now you're not paying attention to the law. You're not looking to say, well, am I sloppy though? You just, oh, I'm getting money. I buy this car, I buy that car. You're not really looking like, is these cars, is these trucks, is these cars, are they making too much noise? Is too much people seeing me? You get, you don't wake up till they cuff you. They cuff you, that's when you look back and you start seeing, man, and then this dude, you start seeing the people you shouldn't have been messing with. You start seeing the moves you shouldn't have made. You start seeing all that, but not till they cuff you. When they cuff you, you get to singing, I can see clearly now the rain. That's when you can see. And Diddy had lost his damn mind. How you got that much money? You doing things big like that. Why is you with a hoe and a male prostitute in the room with that status? Now you done disgrace yourself in front of the whole world because everybody else looking at you like, bro, you had all that money. You had all that money. You had all them businesses going for you. And you up in a hotel room with baby oil and some bootleg male prostitute. Lock them up forever. Lock them up, man. Bye, fool. That's why you don't get out. You don't get high. Don't drink. Don't get high. Stand on your square. Stay on your business. Don't mix your business with pleasure. He mixed business with pleasure. Why would he do that? What? Like he had the white dude try the drugs. Now, what if the white dude would have died? See what I'm saying? Like Diddy was asking for it. This guy played for Syracuse. You got him running the drugs. The guy said Diddy wanted him to test it. See what I'm saying? All the dude had to do was test that at the wrong spot and die right there, and Diddy would have went to prison then. Or now we would have had to try to hide the body. He would have had to try. See what I'm saying? When I think the white dude said he had me tested, I just shook my head. I said, Diddy, he had lost his mind. Y'all, he hadn't lost his mind. He wanted dude to test it in case something wrong with it, not thinking that if it is something wrong with it, and you get this young white dude and you have him test this stuff, and this young white dude is on film footage everywhere, walking to your rooms and stuff, and it's work for you, bro, you going to prison. So people talking about he innocent. Let me tell you something. He beyond guilty. Man, listen. That brother came over here and said he went to prison. He lying to y'all. But when we go to prison and we go to jail, we be guilty for more than what they charged us with. Listen, I'll repeat myself. Because dude come over here playing. Let me tell you something. Whatever he went to prison for, the brother came over here a month, he did way more than that. Whatever he ended up getting charged with, he could have easily been charged for way more than that. So Diddy then did a whole bunch of, he filed. And just filed till he got caught. Ain't no innocent. He not innocent. Nobody that's doing that type of crimes and stuff is innocent. They be lucky that they only get caught for just some of their offenses. Diddy could have been doing 20, 30, 40, 50 years, a long time ago. And might be brought in for the hit on Biggie and Tupac. It ain't necessarily over for him. Because word on the street, it's a high possibility that he was in on them hits on both of them. That's word on the street. They, him and Biggie was beefing over royalties and stuff, over publishing. It's word on the street. Word on the street is him and Biggie wasn't cool. Word on the street, Biggie didn't want to be there. Biggie was supposed to be in Europe. Word on the street, they ran that light to leave him back there. And Puffy was on the other side of the light. Told them, run the light. And left them back there. I'm just saying. Yeah. The reason Diddy not gonna say nothing, because Diddy gonna try to get a retrial, and Diddy trying to get as least amount of time as he can, and he trying to see if he can beat it. The reason he's not gonna testify for himself is because people turned state's evidence on him already. This the part. That's why I say I messed up, because I'm not thinking Fed case. This is a Fed case. Casey and all them turned state's evidence. Listen, this was gonna be a case without Casey. Look, y'all notice how I was thinking state. Dang. Y'all notice how Casey got up there and he was like, she ain't really saying nothing. Right? See, I was off. So I kind of misled y'all. See, state Casey was finna go to prison too. She was gonna be charged. They got you thinking that this is a case against Casey. No, this is a racketeering conspiracy charge, including Casey. Most of them people up there they was all finna be in cuffs. The whole ring. The unidentified lady that y'all know, the rapper's son's mama, she was going to prison. They not up there because it's Diddy against them. They turning state's evidence. They had been arrested and detained. Casey had been detained. The white dude got caught at the plane with that stuff. Everybody talking about a little bit of stuff. He's supposed to be gone. She Cody. Yeah, she was Cody. A lot of them was Cody's. Casey, see, they had people thinking this was against Casey. No, Casey's a co-defendant. They're gonna have to negotiate. The stripper dude, he a Cody. He can't go in there and have sex with them on film like that for no pay. He told how much he got paid. He said sometime 1,000. You know what I'm saying? That's the key right there. D-Rock, Cody. You ain't seen D-Rock. Why? You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't thinking, man. I was thinking state. If it was state, then yeah, Casey would have been probably, a part of, to testify against. I wasn't thinking Fed case. That's how I blew it. If I was thinking Fed case, I would have known Casey is a Cody. I wasn't thinking, man. This is a Fed case. Either everybody going to jail or you're going to talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, either everybody going to go to jail or you're going to talk. This was a Fed case. This was about running in there and punishing everybody for Diddy having all them film footage and all them pictures of all these rich people that's involved with that. And they went in there and they took all them pictures of all them rich people. Okay. Everybody know what I'm saying is real. They went in there and they took all them pictures that he had that he could blackmail all these people with. All these celebrities that's not in his trial. And they left him on the streets while they make a case. And they went and got people that was closest to his little circle, the ones that was hosting those events. Casey was hosting events with millionaires and billionaires. She a liar, okay? Casey, the one lady that they didn't want to identify her, they was hosting. And there was a whole lot of people. Freak offs was a lot of people. And they went and grabbed the host and ran in Diddy's house and took all that information of all them rich people to protect all these rich politicians and billionaires and multimillionaires. And then they went and got the crew and made them turn state's evidence to snitch on the crew leader. But they have already secured them pictures. Everybody know that what they said at Diddy's trial was not no freak off. That was not the freak offs. The freak offs wasn't him and no lady and no man. Everybody know that. Everybody know that was no freak off. What they told at that case. Everybody know that. Y'all know that wasn't no freak off. That's why everybody said let him go. The main reason everybody said let him go, because everybody thought a freak off was a whole bunch of people, and when they seen 3 people, they're like, oh, this is fake. But it's not fake. The freak offs was a lot of people. But these are the ones that was running it. Casey was helped running it. The other little girl they didn't want to announce that got the rapper's baby. They was helping him with the freak offs. They was not the freak offs. The little white dude, all of them, D-Rock, all of them was orchestrating it. It was a lot of people there. If you look at the footage where he beat up Casey, you could tell there was nobody in none of them rooms. Everybody had checked out. He had rented that whole floor. And the event was over. And she was trying to steal something and get out of there. Probably for that new husband she got. You could tell, man. So he just out there beating up, and there might be people in them rooms that come out them rooms. What's going on out here? Nobody came out the room, right? That's because wasn't nobody in none of them rooms. Everybody that had been there is gone. And the footage of everybody that checked in, everybody walking up and down that hallway is gone. Listen, not just the footage of him beating up, the footage for 3, 4, 5 days on that floor, that footage is gone. That footage of that whole hotel is gone. From check-in, all them celebrities and stuff that checked in, all that footage is gone. Not just that, not that. The only reason you've seen that is somebody filmed that part who might end up in the bottom of the ocean if they feel like he also filmed the wrong people. The dude that filmed that on his phone, his life in danger because they want to know who else did you film in here. There's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what he was thinking. Because that's not really from the footage. The footage was destroyed. That's from a dude's phone. Right before they destroyed it. But see, that dude, he got a lot of people nervous. Because I looked at it and I said, ain't nobody in none of them rooms? Right. Everybody had went on. The event was over. The cleaning crew was coming up. They was finna go. And she probably tried to take that footage of them celebrities. That boyfriend. It ain't no coincidence that she with the boyfriend that Diddy put her with. All of this, you can see the conspiracy. Her her and that trainer been conspiring to try to steal stuff from Diddy. You could see Casey was a gangster. That's why everybody like, nobody felt sorry for Casey. Because everybody could see, oh, she a gangster too. That's why when he beat her up, she said, no, don't call the police. Because she was in on the whole conspiracy. She one of the workers. He had a ring of people that was getting in these celebrities and these rich people to do these parties, and they was filming them, and they was keeping it for blackmail. So it ain't Diddy against them. That whole everybody, they was a ring. That's why them male workers stuttering and stuff. They know that brother that's doing all this stuff, he been to more parties than he telling y'all. You could see that man scared. The man Cam was talking to, that man don't look spooked out his mind that all them other people that he know gonna come see him. Listen, man, the guy that Cam interviewed, the worker, he don't look scared. He don't look like he know the whole story. You could tell he only telling, they was not enemies. That's why everybody thought Diddy was not guilty. Everybody thinking Diddy not guilty because they looking, they saying, they got you thinking it's Diddy against Casey. It's Diddy against these girls. But the feds know that what we don't know. No, all these people guilty. We cut these people a deal. Casey was looking at 30 years. The girl that got the baby by the rapper was looking at 30 years. The little Asian girl was looking at 30 years. The Punisher was looking at 30 years. It's a conspiracy. Everybody saying, well, how is this conspiracy with only Diddy? Because everybody else turned state evidence. If they come, listen, they'll have a conspiracy. They come and they grab me and 5 other dudes. But I'm such a big fish, they'll have the 5 other dudes turn state evidence against me. So that when I come and it's a conspiracy, you're going to be like, well, how is it just a conspiracy with Pharaoh? Because all these people snitching on me is in the conspiracy. That's why it looked funny. That's why the average American watching it, like, let him go. This don't look right. Because the average American don't understand. You're looking at all criminals. You're looking at a ring of criminals, and some of the criminals are testifying against the leader. That's what you're looking at. No, they don't know that. They can't let you know that because not everybody gonna know, well, if that's the group, who was the people? They don't want to go down there. They really don't want me saying this. That's why I'm demonetized right now because I talk too much. Because if they let you know that they was all the workers, then you're going to want to know, well, who the hell was the clients? They got you, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, all of them was the workers. Everybody in there is the conspirators. Those are the criminals. Casey was the criminal. All the women are the criminals. Those are all the criminals. Turning state's evidence on the ringleader so they can get time off. Now they don't want to open that. They don't want to go down there. They want to wrap this up, lock his ass up, and move on. But for them, it's not over. This one to choke on a chicken bone. Oh, this one to be an accident. Watch what happened to all of them, one by one. Oh, dude got hit by a car. Oh, that one. Oh, died from some kind of some type of sickness. Watch. They still got to get rid of them. But they secured the evidence when they, okay? That's why they didn't arrest Diddy right away once they raided him. They trying to see if they got everything. They're trying to get all the information. His sons ain't safe. Ain't nobody safe because they playing with the wrong ones. You know what I'm saying? I believe it got something to do with the liquor company. I don't believe it got nothing to do with the liquor company as far as the liquor company setting them up. I believe when the liquor company said that they wouldn't sell his liquor and he got mad and they got rid of him, I believe he threatened them. I believe he threatened. I got footage. I got footage of y'all at my party. That's what I believe happened. That's what I believe. I believe it's a high possibility that when the liquor company said we can't sell your stuff, we can't sell Ciroc in these white neighborhoods, they ain't gonna buy it, which they told him the truth. And then he didn't like it. And then he started going against them, and then they kicked him to the curb. I think it would have been cool. They just ain't doing business no more. But I believe Diddy had been saving footage on these celebrities, and I believe he's been threatening people with that footage. That's what I believe. And I believe them billionaires got together and told the president and told the big people, say, hey, go get him. He got us. He got the information. And they raided everything, his plane and everything, looking for that footage. You understand? They only dropping these charges right here. When the feds drop charges like this, you going to prison. He going bye-bye. If they got me for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they come back and say we dropped 3, 4, 5, I'm going to prison for 1 and 2. They're like, we don't even need 3, 4, 5 no more. You're going to prison for these ones. Listen, the charges they're sticking, that's all they need. They're like, we proved this strongly. Throw these out. You got to understand with the feds, you're doing 15 to 50 anyway. You're doing 50 with one charge. You're doing 50. So even if they give me all 5, I'm still only going to do 50. 50 is 50. They don't need to throw all this up there and let me get away with the 50. They want to make sure I get this 50 piece. So if they got all these charges and these 2 is weak, then boom. We don't need the weak charges. You still doing 50. It's not like the state. When the state throw out charges, your time going to go down. This the feds. The feds don't lose. That's why I say I had to come back. I got to apologize to y'all because I wasn't talking. I don't know. I'm just thinking cases. I don't know. I blew that. I've been talking about this the whole time, like cases, like a state case. I forgot this is a Fed case. This is a Fed case. He going bye-bye. He through. You know what I'm saying? He finished. Because if he wasn't finished, he'll still be on the streets. They won't come get you till you finish. For them to come get him, and they're not even presenting all the evidence because they helping their friends. They got more evidence than that. They know what he did, and he know what he did. Right now, all Diddy want to do is not be Jeffrey Epstein. That's all he want is saying, listen, y'all, he willing to do the time if they let him stay alive. He locked up where Epstein was locked up. You think that's an accident? What you think they was telling them when they put him in there where Jeffrey Epstein was at? That ain't the only place they could have put dude, okay? That was a message. A case like that, he could have had house arrest. They don't care. They don't care about him running because he ain't got the information. Heck yeah, it's a warning. Shut up. Trust me, Diddy didn't let them know. I ain't gonna never say nothing. It's over with. Trust me. But one thing about them is they don't make sure you don't say nothing. It's too much at stake to trust you. They don't trust nobody. This what happened when a little rattlesnake go start playing with cobras and boa constrictors and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you a snake, you a little rattlesnake, but this is all snakes and vipers and bro, you playing with black widow spiders and you know what I'm saying? Man, I'm a rattlesnake. They ain't gonna play with me. Bro, what? They got more poisonous snakes than you. It's a lot of poisonous creatures out here. One bite. It's creatures, if they touch you, you're going to pass away. If they just touch your skin, you out of here. He going bye-bye. He going bye-bye. He going bye-bye. They done drop them cases. When they go talk to the jury, when they give the jury instructions, hey, man, in a Fed case, you know what them jury instructions going to be like? They're going to be like, he charged with this, 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 this. This is what this is. This is what you do to be charged with this. They're going to be like, he did that. They're going to be like, this is what you do to be charged with that. They're going to be like, he did that. They're going to say, this is what you do. It's going to be real simple. It's not going to be hard like y'all think. They're going to be like, any money exchange for sex is prostitution. Then they're going to give you the paper. Go over the paper. He paid the male stripper $2,000 this night, $1,500. Yeah, that's prostitution. Because they asked dude, how much did he pay you? See, that's the part people are listening to. You don't want to play with the feds. I'm thinking state case. The state case, all grand and all that. The feds don't do all that. They don't do that. They don't make no big old case like that. The feds make a simple case. So you were the male dancer, right, Pharaoh? Yeah. How often did you dance with him? Oh, quite often. Did he pay you? Yes. Got him. It's over. But the feds, they know nobody else don't see that. They know nobody else don't see got him. So they just keep asking questions and stuff. But it's already over. You know, as soon as I said, how much did he pay? Well, one night he gave me $500. One night he gave me $1,500. He gave me $1,000. That's it. Did you penetrate her? Did you actually have sex with her? Yes. How much? A lot. Thank you. That's how the feds get out. Everybody used to a Fed case, a state case. You want to hear all, that's why I said I messed up. I wouldn't think it's a Fed case. The Fed case don't arrest you on no big, bold statements. It'd be something really little they said that nobody gonna pay no attention to. Did he pay for you? Did he pay for you to come? Did he pay for your transportation? Yeah. And then if you crossed any state lines, so let me get this straight. So y'all live here and y'all went across state lines over here and y'all did that? Y'all had sex? You paid to have sex? You crossed state line and then you paid to have sex? Okay. That's sex trafficking. You know that's sex trafficking. You know if he takes her across anywhere and he pays a male to have sex with her, y'all do know that's sex trafficking, right? It's not what you think. That's sex trafficking. You got in traffic. You know what I'm saying? You took a plane, went way over here and had a freak off, fool. That's sex trafficking. The only way you can fly around and have sex is with your girlfriend or your wife or somebody, not no paid employees, bro. You can't have no paid people do that. And you got drugs everywhere you go. You getting illegal drugs. You getting like cranking. He wasn't getting no little baby drugs. He was getting serious drugs. Getting drugs. You know how much time you get if you get caught with any of them drugs he got? Just a little bit of it. You know how much time you'll get? They talking about he ain't no mule because he didn't have. Man, I said, man, y'all don't understand. They say the white dude ain't no drug mule with that little bit of $300 worth of stuff. Man, let me tell you something. If you get on, man, listen. If you bring me a half ounce of cocaine, you was a mule, man. It don't gotta be no kilos. You're a mule. If you bring me more than I could use in one sitting, you're a mule. If I'm selling cocaine, I'm selling 50s and 100s. And this customer get a 50, and this customer get 100. If you want a quarter ounce, are you in the same category as the people that get a $50 pack? No. You move up to the dealer status because you can break that down. You're no longer the person that, if I'm selling weed and I'm selling dime bags and nickel bags, or let's say dime, and you come by a dime, and he come by a dime, and he come by a dime. If somebody come to me and buy an ounce or 4 ounces, are they in the same category as the one bought the dime? No. Once you want a half ounce, an ounce, now you in the dealer category, regardless if you want to use it for yourself or not. As far as purchasing, you a dealer. Period. You in the game. That's more than personal use. Now, if you're using it personal, that's regardless. That's irrelevant. That's why that's why when the police catch you, they charge you based on how much you had. Based on how much you had. You got 10 pounds, versus 1 pound. Who do the most time? The 10 pound or the 1 pound? The 10 pounder. The 10 pounder, you know what I'm saying? That's why they put it on the scale. Oh, this is all 10 pounds. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, you done messed up. You done messed up. Yeah, you done messed up. Now, let's say an ounce of marijuana might cost you, let's say an ounce of marijuana costs you $200. How much is an ounce of cocaine? That's not $200. You're in a lot of trouble. That ounce of cocaine is not considered the same as an ounce of weed, sir. This is cocaine, right? Now, which one gonna get you the most time? An ounce of cocaine or an ounce of heroin? An ounce of heroin is considered way more than an ounce of cocaine. That's a fact. Listen, you saying it's just an ounce. No, it's an ounce of heroin. Okay? So that stuff that white dude was getting, y'all thinking that's just a little bit of stuff. But the type of drugs he was getting, bruh. You know how much time you get for that? That stuff that Diddy was taking. You know how much time you'll get for that? Hold on. Hopefully YouTube don't be petty and say I can't teach on this. That I'm trying to promote it. Because they be so petty. Look, y'all. Keep it a billion. Everybody talking about dude ain't no mule. How you not no mule when you going to get this? Bro, if you going to getting this for somebody illegally, you a mule. I don't care how much you get. ecstasy, ketamine, GHB, cocaine, marijuana, Percocet, Tusi, Xanax, clonazepam, Viagra, and Cialis illegally. Illegally. Bruh, if you're going to get this for somebody, you a mule. They ain't talking about he ain't no mule. Bruh, if you're going to get this, your ass is a mule. You a mule. You know how much time that boy was going to get? You know, that's some strong, boy, that stuff is extremely illegal. Listen, y'all, you know how much time you, state, let's talk state, this federal, let's talk state. You know how much time you'll get in the state if you get caught with any of that stuff? You know how much time you get caught if you were in Chicago and they pull you over and they just catch you with 2 of them or 3 of them, do you know how much time you could get for that? For possessing that? Just for your own use. You know how much time you could get for having that kind of stuff? Boy, you're going to get 1 billion years. Man, listen. They're going to look at you crazy. Oh, you got all this, huh? Well, listen, you know, they might even ask you, well, tell us who you got it from. Tell us who you got this from. Now, y'all telling me that these people done told all this. Y'all telling me they ain't went to see them people they was getting it from? That guy that had that little shop they kept bringing up. Y'all telling me he ain't had no problems or he ain't looking at no serious problems? You ever notice they didn't bring none of them people to testify? The guy that had the shop, the one-stop guy, where is he right now? Where is the one-stop guy? You know how many people got in trouble behind this? You know how many people the feds ran up on between the time they raided Diddy and the time they arrested Diddy? You know how many people? You know how many people they ran up on? This is bigger than they. Listen, man. You know how many people was working for the feds right now? You know how many people involved in this is telling on everybody still right now? You know how many cases they finna get from this case? Boy, they gonna get at least 25 to 50 cases just from this case. Probably up to 100, because cases make cases. You tell on him, we catch him, he tell on them 3, and then you know how it go. You know how many cases people finna get? Doors getting done been kicked open and gonna get kicked open? Yeah, look, Fat Joe, boom, in trouble. Is interstate or federal moving drugs? It depends on the drugs. Interstate is off the top federal. Because if you do something illegal in Illinois and then do it in Indiana, that's federal. Now you're doing stuff in the United States. See, if you're doing it in Indiana, you're doing it in Indiana. But if you're doing it in Illinois and Indiana, now you're doing it in the United States. Because you then went to United States. Because Indiana, Illinois is united. They next to each other. You doing trafficking. That's trafficking. Young brothers be going to Indiana to get guns and bring them to Chicago and get busted. They thinking they got a gun charge. No, you trafficking guns. Yeah, Indiana right up the street. I understand that. So you don't understand just because Indiana's right up the street. You know, you don't understand that you cross state lines. That's a whole nother, that's something different now. If you buying guns in Indiana and sell them in Illinois, you know, if we want to be petty, you know, if we just want to be something, we just charge you in Illinois for bringing them here. But if we want to be petty, we could charge you for federal crimes. We can have the feds come get you. Remember, the feds wanted to get Boosie because Boosie be traveling around with the guns. They're like, bro, you cross the state lines with this gun. Boosie don't get it. And Boosie talk too much. Once Boosie get arrested, get out, you should shut the hell up. Don't be playing with the police and antagonizing the police. Yeah, I beat that. Yeah, I beat that. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Al Capone did that. Walk around smiling. Leave the police alone, man, and they might leave you alone. Leave the police alone. Don't play with the police. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, cartons of cigarettes. Come on, man. That's how a lot of the four corner hustlers went down. I had one of my boys, he said, Pharaoh, he didn't drive, he didn't have no car to drive. He said, run me out here, Joe, to get these cigarettes. So I took him and we drove way out somewhere. I don't even know where we was at, because you don't never know where you're going when somebody say, turn here, go down there. You don't know where you at. And he went in this gas station. And when he went in the little gas station, and he come out, he had a whole big ass garbage bag, and it was full of cigarettes. But the cigarettes didn't have the state seal on them. So they was like some type of super criminal bootleg cigarettes. I don't know. I take them and drop them off. That's why I say you be doing stupid stuff. Now, what if the state police or the sheriffs or anybody would have got behind us and found the cigarettes? Now they find the cigarettes. What if he don't say they his? It's my car. So they arrest me. He don't say nothing. Now, I'm looking at 10 years, 20 years for these illegal cigarettes. He don't say he don't say nothing. So now he want to be on some gang stuff and be like, I'm supposed to hold it down as a foe. I'm supposed to go take these charges. Right? When really, I didn't take you out there as no gang member. I took you out there as a friend. But, you know what I'm saying? And you the same dude might go try to sleep with my baby mama now that I'm locked up. You'll be the first one to go over there talking about you brought us some money, blah, blah. Next thing you know, you're trying to get in her ear. So now I got to make a choice. Do I take these time or do I go testify on you and say they're yours? So then it comes into question. So now you're saying we gangsters, okay? You're saying I'm a gangster. And I'm a gangster. So if I'm a gangster and I say they're yours, what you going to do about it? Because I'm still going to knock you. You know what I'm saying? What you going to do about it? Yeah, they're yours. Those his. Because I'm a gangster. What you mean you going to see me? You mean we're going to see each other? How that's going to work out for you? Well, listen, you want to do this, stand on your business. Don't be trying to get me to stand on your business. That's not gangster. Gangster is you wanted to go out there and get this stuff. You went and got it. You should fight it. You should fight the case. You want me to fight your case? How's that gangster? That's snake. That's a snake. That means I never should have took you. You should have had to go get it yourself. See what I'm saying? You should have had to go get it since you're moving like that. Because if it's me and I go get some stuff like that and I get in your car and they catch you with it, I ain't going to say nothing. And you ain't going to say nothing. But once they get ready to charge you, I ain't going to say nothing. You ain't going to say nothing. They might throw it out. But if it gets to a point they're finna charge you, I'm finna say it was mine. I'm not finna let you go to jail for my cigarettes, period. That's not finna happen. You're not going to prison for my cigarettes. That was my cigarettes. You took me out there. I'm not finna let you go to prison for my cigarettes. I knew I could have went to prison when I was selling cigarettes. So it is what it is. You were just doing me a favor. Why should you go to prison for doing me a favor? We're going to be quiet to see if we can beat the police at first. Don't go in the police station and tell them it's mine. Shut up. They might throw it out. Don't say nothing. That's snitching. You shouldn't snitch. But I need to stand on my square. You don't have to snitch because I'm going to stand on it. I'm going to go stand on that and say, they're mine. I'm not going to let you go to prison for my stuff. I'm not going to let you do 5 years for something. Nah, bro, we ain't doing all that. If it get that bad, I'm going to go in there and say it was mine. It wasn't his. And once they try to charge him for it, then I go to court and say it was mine, it wasn't his. They're going to have to throw his case out. And they might not even charge me now because the whole case messed up. They might not even charge me now. Real talk. I can come up with your bond money and get you out and just go testify. Say they wasn't never his. They was mine. Police didn't even try to find out who they was. Police was bogus. You know what I'm saying? Get the whole case thrown out. We both go home. You know what I'm saying? We both go home. You're going to beat your case. They didn't charge you. Now I'm going to help you beat that. And let them figure it out. Go figure it out. Because I could beat this now because I go in there and say it's yours. I say, I'm the one who told you it's yours. You should have did the job right the first time. You need to throw this case out. You blew it from the very beginning from charging him. So this case is no good. If I was looking at 5 years and the judge just stuck on it, I ain't gonna get nothing but 9 months or something. They're gonna cut me. Okay, we messed it all up. Okay, but you got something, Pharaoh. Okay, give me 9. You know, we give you a year. They give me 16 months or something. I go do like 5 months. I be out. You know what I mean? Something like that. I ain't gonna get the whole 5 that I would have got originally. Not if they arrest and charge the wrong person. If they charge the wrong person, they blew it. But you keep your mouth shut. But this Diddy case, one reason it looks so crazy is because people don't understand is that there was nobody innocent testifying. They was all a part of the illegal ring. That's the part that if I would have thought about it as a Fed, I would have been able to tell y'all. I was thinking about it as a state, so I'm looking at Casey funny. You know, I didn't put it together right because I'm thinking it's a state. And thinking it's a state, then Casey could have been a victim. Everybody could have been a victim. But once you think of this a Fed, oh, ain't nobody in there a victim. All of them been arrested. All of them is Cody's. I'm like, oh, damn. This a Fed case. That means everybody testifying against him got a deal. They done pleaded guilty. Casey done pleaded, all of them Casey done pleaded guilty. All of them took some type of plea deal. They might not go on their record, but all of them pleaded out and offered to testify to avoid jail. For real. Everybody in there testified to avoid prison. I wasn't thinking feds. This feds. This ain't the state. This feds. This the feds. This the feds. Everybody come in that bad boy is guilty. It ain't like the state. And then I make because the state wouldn't even did all that like that. The state wouldn't have charged that like that. So I was like, I was all off. If that was a state case, it wouldn't have went nothing like that. Even the raid was fed. I don't know what I was thinking. Homeland Security and all that. This ain't no state case, man. I was tripping. I don't know. I was just talking about it like it was a state case. I don't know why. I woke up this morning and something just hit me like, oh, this is a Fed case, man. I'm tripping. This is a Fed case. This not no state case. I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. I was thinking like a state case. So I'm thinking Casey testifying against him and all that. And I'm wondering, Casey don't look like she wanna go too hard on him. I'm like, these are weird people testifying. I'm like, oh, they all Cody's. Oh, that's why it's so weird. That's why the case is so weird. They always looking at prison time. That's why they being so honest. That's why they got to be honest because the feds already know. Don't get up here lying talking about you hate Diddy. We arrested you with Diddy. So don't get up here lying talking about you hate Diddy. You're a lie. You was working with him. That's why they can't really, that's why the white dude can't really go off on Diddy because he's in the case with Diddy. That's why they can't slam Diddy. Because they are all in the case. That's why that case so weird. Y'all don't think that case weird? You like, he gonna beat this. They not saying nothing against him. You know what I'm saying? You looking at it, you like, he gonna beat this. They not saying nothing against him. Because they didn't all took plea deals. They didn't all admitted to guilt already. You know what I'm saying? They done already admitted that the whole ring is guilty. Yes, I'm guilty. Yes, we did all this. They all done already caught pleas. They all done told and said is guilty. Now it makes sense. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm thinking they just civilians. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, that's why they made it a domestic case. Yeah. They gave them a break and dropped a lot of stuff, domestic and stuff, so it could be thrown out. They're like, we already confiscated everything on Diddy. We already got everybody else's pictures secured. Now we're trying to figure out what we want to do with them. Whether he stay alive in prison or out is the big question. Does he have that bullseye on his head? That's the big question. Is he a threat to the higher ups that was involved in what he was involved in? That's the main thing right there. Because with the people, if he was around the kind of people I think he was, it's over anywhere it go. Because you a liability now. You know too much. And see, Diddy stupid because he called his son. Did you get rid of the pizza boxes? So now his son is probably a target. They probably want to know what his son know about the pizza. You know what I'm saying? Diddy, I don't know. He ain't as smart as we've been thinking. Diddy kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying? Diddy kind of stupid. Clyde's smart. Clyde don't know nothing no more. He's seen that. You know what I'm saying? Clyde don't know nothing no more. He don't recognize nobody no more. You know what I'm saying? Clyde don't recognize nobody. He don't know no more. They ain't finna mess with Clyde. Clyde finna live the rest of his life out and pass away quietly. He wasn't even involved in this anyway. This was Diddy trying to do what he learned. He want to be the big man now. He done went to parties and stuff and seen the big people throw the parties. So now Diddy, dumbass, now I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how he is. He got a big ego. So he want to be the big one now to throw the parties that he used to go to. That's what's going on. He want to be the next. He want to be the next generation having them. That's what he was on. But then he started using. He went and started using, and he started doing certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? That and he just lost his whole self. He'll never be back right. He finished because he done did things that certain things you do, you can't never come back. You be a different person. It's like certain things you can do sexually, and that's it. You can't never be your old self no more. Like me, my whole life I only been with women. If I go be with a man, I can't never be myself no more. That's a changeover. You know what I'm saying? Now you done changed over totally. That's what happens when people use heroin. Like if you use heroin, that's a changeover. No matter what, even when you get off of it, you'll never be the same because you'll always be now an ex-heroin addict. You'll never be what you was because just before you wasn't a heroin addict at all. You didn't bother it. And once you messed with it, you became a heroin addict. And then when you quit, now you're an ex-heroin addict, but you're not the person before you use it. You'll never be that person again. There's certain things you could do where you'll never be that person again. I've only had heterosexual sex. I have never had homosexual sex. Once I do that, that's it. You can't undo it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to become something else. And Diddy just started using drugs, man. If he didn't start using them drugs, he would have been fine. That's why they call them mind-altering drugs. When you take mind-altering drugs, then you what? You lose your mind. And he had basically lost his mind. He was doing crazy. He was crazy, basically. But he know too much. It's not gonna end well either way it go. But he ain't walking out that courtroom. Like he not beating no fair. He not beating no fair case. If you a juror and you was on that jury and you wasn't acting like you was really listening to the evidence and you was like playing or a fan, they got you off that jury. Like the black dude they got off the jury. They got him off that jury because he wasn't no good juror. Like I be watching Sean G. And I don't be really liking his commentary because he just pro Diddy. So his commentary be too one-sided. His commentary don't be like straight down the middle. I don't know if it's because he's in the New York area, what it is, but he just pro Diddy, been like that from the very beginning. So his commentary is kind of whack. It don't be good. I had to stop watching. You know what I'm saying? I like Tisa Tales. She anti-Diddy. Commentary don't be no good. Both of them, they commentary sucks. They got the worst commentary on the trial because they both done chose sides. Their commentary is horrible. I don't listen to neither one of them because for what? It's all based on their opinions. I don't listen to them no more. You know what I'm saying? I be listening to Act because Act just tell you what everybody's saying. He just show all of them. He don't care. So he show what Tisa say, he show what everybody, he just show what everybody say. You make your own decision. But I can't listen to Sean or Tisa. She want Diddy to go to prison so bad, and he want Diddy to walk. So his commentary is, you know what I'm saying, whack. I watch him though. I like him. I'm glad he's doing well. That's my man. But the commentary on Diddy, he messed that up. You know what I'm saying? He should have just read what happened in court and left it like that. He should have never put none of his, feelings in it. Like me, I don't got no feelings in it. My commentary right down the middle. I don't really care. I don't got no dog in the fight. I don't want to see. I don't want nothing. So I don't know. I don't. I'm not thinking about if he beat it or don't beat it. I'm not thinking about that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If he beat it, it won't matter to me. If he don't beat it, it won't matter to me. I won't feel like I lost. Oh man, I lost. He beat it, man. I wanted him to lose. Like, no, I don't care really. It's a court case. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't got no dog in the fight. So I never thought about if I want him to lose or want him to win or nothing like that. It's a court case. And in a court case, no, that don't mean nothing. Even your case. When you got a court case and you go to court, hey man, ain't no need of you want nothing. All you can do is go in there and try to fight it the best you can. You gotta wait, you know what I'm saying? When I watched the OJ case, I didn't care. I just was watching and just gathering it. I don't be cheerleading like that. I ain't no chill. I got toxic masculinity. I don't do no cheerleading. The only time you're gonna see me cheering is if one of my children going to school finna graduate or something. That's it. Or they trying to accomplish something. Other than that, I don't do no cheerleading. Period. For nobody. I don't do that. That's just too feminine for me. And it's like unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hate somebody innocent doing time, but in most cases, I don't know if they're innocent or not. So that's the problem with that. I don't know if you're innocent. I don't know if Diddy innocent. All I know is myself, and I know every time I went to court for a case, I wasn't necessarily supposed to be in there for it, but they ain't never had me for a gun case. Well, I didn't have a gun though. I had the gun. Now it could be the issue of did they pull me over? What did they have probable cause to pull me over and all that stuff? But they ain't never planted no gun. They ain't never planted no weed on me. They ain't, everything I went and got arrested for some kind of way, I was definitely involved. They didn't just come pick me up on the street and give me a weed charge with no weed on me or just grab me off the street and just put a gun in my pocket. No, it was always, in some ways, I was definitely involved with what they said was the crime. It was always about was it legitimate the way they did it? Should it had ever been a crime? So let's say Chicago got a law. The Chicago had a law where you couldn't have a handgun, and then I had a handgun, got caught with it. So technically, I broke the law, but the law was bogus. So the courtroom not bogus if they upholding a law that the state got the bogus law. So that's really the state That ain't the courtroom. The courtroom just going by what the state did. So in the court, I'm guilty based on the false state law. But for people to look at Diddy and say he innocent, it to me is crazy. Because you would have to be there with him to know if he innocent or guilty. It's much easier to say they're guilty if they got evidence than to say they're innocent if you ain't been there. If you got 10,000 bottles of baby oil, then most of us gonna say you's a nut anyway, and most likely your ass guilty. Who the fuck gonna go buy all that damn baby oil but some kind of weirdo? You know what I'm saying? So if you go and buy thousands and thousands of bottles of baby oil and then you get accused for being a weirdo, then most likely you're guilty as charged. Fucking weirdo, you know? You know? Come on. Dude is a creep weirdo. So yeah, if I had to decide was he's a violent creep, definitely. As far as wanting him to get out, you know what I'm saying? I don't got no dog in the fight. But as far as a man, if Casey was my daughter and he beat her up like that, he would have already been off the planet. So any man got a daughter that watch how he did that move, you know, on that, but I don't like dude anyway. But I don't put that in. I don't like Diddy. I never liked Diddy. I never rolled with Bad Boy. I always rolled with Tupac. So I never liked Diddy. Diddy always ain't been shit to me. Diddy always was an asshole. I never liked him. Always taking all the shine from his artists, taking all the shine from Mace, dancing around in front of all his artists starving. He don't do nobody right. You know, he's always been a piece of shit. Diddy ain't never been shit. On that end, he's garbage. He's always been garbage. You know? But I'm not wishing, I'm not putting that in this case. You know, I'm just looking at the case. I'm not really paying a whole lot of attention. But if I had to bet, hey, like, well, which would you bet 10,000 that he did all that? I put 10,000 he did. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no respect for him, bro. You got all that money and you a druggie, you a cheap druggie with all that money and you doing this shit with that kind of money? Bro, you serious? So you work that hard to get that kind of money and this the type of shit you doing? Bro, if you got 50,000 years, that's what you deserve. You a wasted opportunity and a disgrace to your race. Bro, you got that kind of money and this what you doing? You doing ketamine and shit? You know what I'm saying? Bro, you doing ketamine and you having freak offs and stuff. Bro, with all these bad women, you ain't got no wife. You got babies by everybody. All your women passing away, heavy D sick. All your enemies mess around and end up unalive. Like, dude some kind of demon anyway, but that's ain't got to do with this case. Like, dude a demon. Anyway. He done cursed his whole family. Where his son's going with that's your daddy. And you Diddy's son. How much respect you gonna get out here in the world? And you Diddy's son. You know what I'm saying? He had too much money. That's why he can't have regular sex. No, he can't have regular sex because he wasn't taking care of himself, right? So he probably had erectile dysfunction and he was doing drugs. Everybody know drugs gonna kill your thing. Your thing not gonna work. We know that from the crack era. We know once dude was freebasing and doing crack, they things stopped working. Everybody know that. They things stopped working. At first, it worked real good. They do the cocaine, it ain't working. Do the cocaine, and the next thing you know, you do the cocaine, nothing worked. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's just you're doing stupid shit, making black people look bad. You know what I'm saying? This is doing crazy stuff, stupid stuff. A man like the devil on earth, man. You know what I mean? Man didn't even take care of Biggie. Bro, how you trying to steal Biggie publishing? That's what they had just got into it before Biggie got under the lie. Because he got mad because Biggie made sure he hid Lil Kim's publishing and hid and tried to help people keep their publishing. And Puff hated him for that. Puff threatened him before something happened to Biggie. Sure did. Gene Deal told it all. And Puff was hanging with the Crips. Facts. These are facts. When he seen how powerful the Suge was with the blood, Diddy started doing certain financial stuff with the Crips. Everybody know that. He had everything to do with that fight in Vegas. Everything with Orlando and them. Everything with them trying to take Death Row Change. He was paying for Death Row Change, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? He was paying for dudes to do stuff to get them changed, get a Death Row change. Like silly stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Gene Deal super invested in the case because Puff did him dirty. When you do people dirty like that and don't do people right, yeah, they be mad. Yeah, Gene, man. He seen that man do too much dirt. You know what I'm saying? Heck yeah, Brad. You know what I mean? He did too much dirt. A lot of people's lives got ruined because of Suge and Diddy don't know how they act. Two idiots. Suge and Diddy hurt the black population, both of them. Instead of us building and getting our own record labels and stuff like that, what they was on? Beefing. They had all that money. And instead of them making sure that the artists work together so we could build some type of black structure, they was beefing. And now Suge locked up and Diddy locked up. And where's all our music? It's on Spotify. And how much you getting paid for thousands of streams? A penny. How that ain't their fault? Irv Gotti. Remember how he used to act like an asshole? Everybody like rest in peace, Irv. He was one of the nastiest people you could ever meet. Never positive. Was always stank. Irv Gotti was a nice, positive guy. In any interview you ever seen. What about Dame Dash? Dame Dash ain't an asshole. Dame Dash ain't a low life asshole. Always been. Dame Dash wasn't in videos pouring liquor on black women unnecessarily, then paid them to dance. They don't know you finna do this. He gonna pour the embarrass, disgrace them. Ain't Dame Dash the one that went on the Breakfast Club and told them, don't work for nobody, work for yourself, and anybody work for somebody as a sucker? Ain't Dame broke? How's Charlemagne and DJ Envy doing? They doing fine, working for the radio station. He said they were suckers working for the radio station. Okay, which one broke? All them guys was nothing but assholes. Dame, Irv, Suge, Puff. They're a disgrace to the race. Why would I blame Jay-Z when I'm telling you Dame is an asshole? Don't even make sense. Why would Dane try to talk to every woman Jay get with? Man, Dane would never do no damn interview with me. Every time, all your guys, you try to sleep with their women. Who do that? Jay with Aaliyah, you go get her. Jay with Beyonce, you trying to talk to her. Dame is a scumbag. That rock wasn't gonna be shit with Dame. Dame is a low life scumbag. I'm telling you. He was just in New York. If Dame would have been in Chicago, he would have been unalive years ago, playing like that. Dame Dash ain't shit, okay? Never have been. Always been an arrogant asshole. Herb too. Suge and Puff too. All four of them. They ain't shit. And they ain't never been shit. That's why black folks ain't got no music business. And what's the name too? Jay Prince. Ain't shit either. Ain't worth 25 cents or nothing. Never paid nobody, never took care of nobody. Didn't do shit for Scarface and them. He's another loser. Then stole from everybody. I bet he do got money. That's why I don't be saying nothing. Nobody want to hear what I got to say. That's why black people's in the bad spot they in. You know what I'm saying? Baby did good business. Baby did good. Him and Slim, they did good business. Lil Wayne just got on drugs and messed his up. But Drake did what he was supposed to do with his. Nicki doing good. But Drake was smart. Drake did what he was supposed to do. But baby did pretty good business. Master P was trying to do good business, but his artist was hard headed. Master P didn't have nobody to work with. Mystical was an idiot. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. See murder, you see where he at. So P was decent. He just didn't have nobody about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Master P was good. His artist just was some dumbasses. Mystical's supposed to be bigger than Wayne. Mystical's supposed to be one of the top rap artists. Seriously, like Mystical was really that. Like seriously, like Mystical was way up there. If you think back, he was on his way to be like one of the top. He was gonna be bigger than Busta Rhymes and all of that. Mystical was really that. For real. Mystical was gonna be bigger than all of them. He might not have been bigger than Wayne, because Wayne was a kid. So Wayne, they were smart. They saw Wayne as an adult when he was a kid, right? They were smart with Wayne. They let him do adult content. Romeo and all them was doing children content. But what happens is when you do children content and you become adult, they don't let you switch to adult content because Dwayne was doing street stuff. He was able to just keep doing what he was doing. Even the girl from Disney, the white girl from Disney, right? When she grew up, her career just disappeared because once you get a career as a kid, little Bow Wow, gone. Little Romeo, gone. Because when you do kid content, that's it. Once you're not a kid no more, your career is over. You know what I'm saying? Nas ain't ran no label, so I don't know what Nas got to do with none of this. Nas ain't ran no label. So I don't know. I don't know what what label Nas got. Nas ain't had no label that I knew of. They had a little crew, but that didn't go nowhere. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about music. I'm talking about the music business. People in the music business that dropped the ball and didn't, and black folks wasn't able to benefit from what they did. I mean, Nas deserve all the respect he get. It's just out of context when we talking about building a record label. That's all. I don't know what that got to do with. I don't know. I don't know how you bring up Suge and Dame and Death Row and Murder Inc. and Nas. What's the name of Nas label? See, I don't know. That just don't make no sense. We talking about Death Row. We talking about Murder Inc. We talking about record labels. Bad Boy. And so Nas, what's the name of that label? So, I don't know. I'm confused on that one. Yeah, Miley Cyrus. Yeah, once she grew up, it was a rap. It absolutely wasn't no label, so that's why I don't understand what you're talking about. And Bravehearts wasn't nothing. Bravehearts wasn't no rap a lot. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The Ghetto Boys wouldn't be named. The Ghetto Boys was on Rap a Lot. The Dog Pound wouldn't be named. The Dog Pound was on Death Row. We naming Death Row, Rap a Lot, Bad Boy. That's what I'm talking about. No Limit, Cash Money.